We can say that iCars is an invention for car animation. It is very easy to use and it is very good for noobs like me. I do have a struggle to animate too much cars in a large scene like this one, but with this add-on you can just animate it as a breeze, and we will see how just in few seconds after installing the add-on. Add-on installation is quite easy. Drag and drop and click OK, and it is installed on Blender. Once it's installed, you can just drag in until you find it. And you will find just a very simple interface with this nice logo. You see that you don't have too much buttons, and this is very convenient. We will delete everything and we will append one of the cars. Curve control system, and here you go. You have your own car animation in just few clicks. In just 2 clicks, you have a nice animation for your car. That is very nice. Also, you can edit the path curve from here and you can see the predictable animation, how it goes along the curve. And this is available for free. This is the good part. And the animation starts just automatically. And here we go. You have also a nice camera following your car animation. You have also options to edit speed curve, and it has really impressive visualization. All you need is just lower or higher the speed on the segment that you are clicking on, and you can see a visualization of how this will go. You can just pick a group of segments and just lower the speed in these parts. This is all for free. You can do this on the free add-on version. But that's not all. You can actually do some other settings like edit the curve of the drift. If you want your car to make some manual drifts, you can do so by dragging some parts, and you can see that how the ghost will act in this part of the animation. And click and you will find the placement of the car goes as the drift curve you have edited. And all the controls are under your hand. You don't have to go to like modifiers or any panels. All just inside the add-on, and you have a nice animation. And I believe that the free version is more than enough for an architectural animation for one car. Let's try another system. We have also buses, by the way, and trucks. Let's try a truck from these ones and see how it will act with the auto drift system. Just one click and you are on the run. You see, the animation is going very smooth and it is not even bothering. Just one click and you are ready, man. That is really amazing. So, it has also the edit path curve and such. So what is the difference? What does it do? It actually acts more physically accurate than the curve base. The curve base is just a plain animation. You don't want the crazy stuff to happen to your drive. So if we gonna test the auto drift in a more convenient way, I will create a bumpy ground to see how it will act. I'll make a collection for the ground for testing it out. Once I finish, assign the ground collection. You are ready. You don't need to set anything. You can see that the car already placed on the terrain in a very convenient way. You just press space and you can see the car is going wild very hard and it jumps. It's really nice. And you just done this in very few clicks. Of course, you can adjust the animation more to your liking and it will be more accurate. And you'll find also multiple settings like outputting a collider, and also you can have a ghost spacing. And you can also preview ghosts, but it is not recommended for auto drift unless you know what you are doing, because it calculates the frames and it takes a little, just a few seconds, but you know, few seconds every few frames, that's a buzzer. So yeah, it's just for the need if you want to because it calculates how the car will act along the curve but a little bit more physically, if we can say. You can also play with the materials of the cars from here. You can also adjust the camera as we have seen. Look, that's really gamey. Well, the ghost control system is just a different controlling mode. It is not bound to what the physics will do to your car. It generates multiple ghosts, and you can see that you have red ghosts and in between ghosts, if we can say. So you do have the control on the red ghosts only, and you have also the control on your curve. So let's see how this will look like. We will go to this panel, which is the path, and you can have the edit ghosts mode. You can select one of the ghosts and just rotate how the car will act. And it will automatically adjust the drifting according to the rotation that you have set for this section to make it as physically as possible. You do have sense of animation once you rotate, if it does look off or it's okay. You can also control the level of detail if you feel that you have some struggle with the speed. And once you click on play, you have it, man. You can see how it will act. See, this ghost, I adjusted it to shift a little. So you can see here in this part, it gone like this and it returned. So you have more control on the car animation along the path. I've abandoned a new car to test out the final system for the single vehicle control, which is free drive. Free drive, from its name, it gives you a free drive. From its fancy name, you can guess what you are going to have: a control on your car. So it does this setup for you. It has a ground, and you have the car ready. To drive, for now, in this version, you click on the start free drive mode, and it will just do that. You press space or just click play, and you will find your car running. Yeah! Look at this crazy stuff. We can do games grade again. Oh my god. Yeah, and you can see that you can actually do your animation using this free drive mode and control it to whatever you like. Just to make sure to make an end that suits your experience. If you want a longer animations, of course, you can just make an adjustment for the time to keep it a little bit longer, like 5,000. Yeah, I want to play a little. So once you do that, you will just play the animation and bam, you have this kind of weird control. If you want to see the car, just activate the camera and you can see that you have Need for Speed inside your blender, man. Yeah. And for the final system that will save your marriage, the traffic system. This is a mind-blowing feature in iCar. Make a simulation for almost a city. In just a click, you have this animation. Everything. You have traffic lights, intersections, anything related to the traffic, you can do it with this traffic system. It depends on mesh editing, but it is very convenient. You can make an edit traffic system and you can pick a vertex and extrude. Yeah, and you will create a road. And you can create the roads on the fly. And that's not all. You can actually increase and decrease the widths, and you can literally do multiple stuff. Here's the one side system. You can see the one side does have some direction errors in some parts, and that's logical, but it will work. You will find that the cars are going in a direction, but they will stop at a moment. You can see that the cars all going to this point. So you need to make or maintain the flow by selecting a segment and flip the direction until you find that everything is going cool. But for this scenario, it is almost impossible to make a good uh, traffic with just one side, one singular direction. So you can go to the start frame to restart your simulation. You can see how impressive it is. It is working quite smoothly. And of course, you have also the speeds, and you can adjust this by edges. And for almost every mode, you have certain settings like the intersection speed, the intersection radius, if there is any. You can actually make a Spider-Man here, Spider-Man traffic, by just extruding multiple traffics here, like that. Of course, if you want them to update dynamically, you can go to the first frame. So you can see that you have traffic lights now. How impressive it is. Everything happens automatically. You can just adjust your traffic and it will just go, man. How easy it is, and very convenient. And you can actually place your cars. You can do intersections by the points. You can select if it is just a square or just a bare intersection, and so on. And also, it depends on how this intersection acts. If you have two-sided or one-sided, you can select all and you can make them two-sided to just see how this will act. Very impressive, and you can adjust almost everything in the system. You can flip directions, you can do two-sided or one-sided, you can go for the segment speed, that this segment has a certain speed, and you can have a adjustment for the lane, so you can have a tighter lanes in some parts and wider lanes in some others. And that's not all. You can add a middle island if you have a middle island in some parts. And if you don't like how you can control the lanes, you can just animate by lane. If you want to make it more manual, you can do so by just deleting everything else, like so, and go to the starting frame as we have discussed earlier. And you can make this just one lane and one side, and bam, you have a very simple road that does have traffic still. It but in just a specific direction. So you can adjust it to your liking. If you have very complicated scenario, you can just make it a very single road or lane. So you can have it like this, and you can adjust, of course, the direction by selecting the edges, flip the direction, go to the first frame, and you will find that the direction of the cars has been adjusted. You can adjust the speed by the segment or even by intersection. If you have a point, this will act as an intersection if you have another lane like this. If you found this error, it will work. The animation will just go through, but you need to adjust the direction of this newly created segment. By flipping the direction, I believe the issue will be solved. And you will find that the directions of the rest will be adjusted accordingly. Very, very nice. I really love this add-on and how it will simplify the process of animating cars. So what are you waiting for? You can purchase this from Gumroad, and soon enough it will be on Superhive. So grab the deal and spin the wheel.